Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. Oh, I thought I need some mental evaluation. I have some problem in my brain. You ever think so? I think people think like that. Let's start. Today, the topic of my presentation will be the universe and the power of all powers. Again, it will be the universe and the power of all power. I will be covering area that I believe will be convincing to bring people to look beyond their own imagination. Materialism world, the spiritual world, and the emotional world. We're going to be talking about that, and there will be new information that I'm going to bring forward. And I just want people to understand that the way we plan one day, it is the way God, the great architect, the mastermind of the universe, planned 1 billion years. So let's start. Dun, 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 dun. I thought I was close to the concert site. Oh, I'm sorry. Another mismatch of my own logic of understanding stuff. I thought I was close to I think I can heard the sound coming from the concert site. Unfortunately not. We are very fortunate to be alive as human being and enjoy our ego, if I can say like that. Enjoy our ego, thinking about ourselves without thinking about other people. What I'm saying? I am saying that the person who created us is a very good person. He's a loving person. He loves all humankind, all entity that he created with an unconditional love. So before further ado, I would like to say Este Gabriel Dacon of the Charity Medical Foundation, Ishaiser Gabriel Dacon of the CM Fit Global. My name is Gabriel N. Dicon of the Charity Medical Foundation and International Trade Incorporated. I am Gabriel N. Dicon of the Charity Medical Foundation of the Global Spectrum. Here, I will be speaking about the truth. Every single time people tell me, do you believe on Jesus Christ, God, or whatever? I say I believe on the truth. Because I want to connect with everyone. I want to connect with people who believe in God, people who do not believe in God, people who believe in Jesus Christ, people who do not believe in Jesus Christ, people who believe on the power of their own ability, or people who believe on other mystical force. So when I say the truth, it means I do believe in the word of the person who created the entire universe, which is composed of many different dimensions, as well as composed of many cosmic dimensional plane in an infinite time. And I also believe in a gospel of the person who is called Adonai Messiah Yeshua. And I also believe in the work of the cosmic intelligence, the infinite intelligence, the higher intelligence, the divine intelligence that you call in Holy Bible the Holy Spirit. When you look the equation of knowledge that I put in there, I said that the Supreme Being have the higher knowledge. He have the higher knowledge because his internal energy, the connection that he had with the true knowledge that is within, is higher than every person in this world, in this universe. He's the one who created that. So when you add that number, his intuitive number there, his intuita there, he will be very high. No one in the universe can't reach the level he had. Therefore, it was revealed that the way we plan for one day, I'm not saying for 1 week, for 1 year, I say for one single day, it is the way the great master architect of the universe planned for 1 billion years. Just imagine that scale. Go and think about it. Imagine that scale and see exactly your level with the great master of the universe. And there's another mistake that people are making, a mismatch, when they're talking about Elohim, Yahweh, and Lucifer. Many people around the world compare Lucifer and God. Well, I wanted to rectify that. There's no comparison between Lucifer and Elohim Yahweh in the stage of the being and power. You don't compare them. Yes, certain people are going to say in the humanistic logic, they're going to say, well, a student or a trainee can become powerful than the master if he work harder. That is true in our egocentric, materialistic world, but it is not the case in the supernatural world. In the supernatural world, everything is eternal and finite. Unless your power is taken away from you, what was given will stay forever. That is the way the universe functions. So Lucifer will always be a createe from the Creator, Elohim Yahweh. He would never be compared to him. You can compare Lucifer and Elohim Yahweh in the basis of the ideology behind evil and good. That's all. That's the only way you can compare them. Behind the ideology of evil and good. But if you want to compare, I'll say that to all the priests, to all the imam, to all the rabbi, to all the pastors. Listen to me very carefully. My knowledge comes from the high power, from the true source, from the origin that inspire people who wrote every book that you're reading. So what I'm saying is completely true and we're never going to change because it comes from the true source. You want to compare Lucifer, you compare him to Angel Michael. Remember what I'm just saying. You want to compare Lucifer, you compare him to Angel Michael. Because during the battle in heaven, he was not fighting with God. God was sitting in his throne. He summoned Angel Michael and he gave an order to take care of the situation. The division happened between the angel, and there was a good side and the bad side. And the good side was controlled by Archangel Michael, and the other side was controlled by Lucifer. Okay? When the battle happened, he lost. And when he lost, he was summoned and then sentenced. That's what happened. Then the sentence that he had didn't remove all the power he had. The only thing that God took away from him was access to heaven. That is all. Access to heaven. It means he is not anymore the angel that can carry the light of knowledge, but instead the angel that carry darkness. That's the only thing God did at that point. Lucifer still possesses the power that he was given in terms of the omnipresence and omnipotent. He still have that. He still have power that can convince people that he is a God. Trust me, that power is not taken away yet. It's not taken away at this point. It will be taken away completely when the person who hold the light of knowledge return back here in this earth. That's where that power will be taken away, and his soul will not leave hell anymore. Their soul will not leave hell anymore. Their soul is leaving hell because they still have the power of omnipresence and omnipotence. They can move, they can be in a million places at once. They can explore the universe, except getting close to heaven. They can explore all other galaxy with respect to the universal law that are already established, and respect God laws, principle, and standard. They can do their business as usual, destroying people life. They can do that. Okay, so the point here that I want to make is that people have to know that he is a creative from the Creator, Elohim Yahweh, and they are not comparable. They will never be comparable. He has enormous power, Lucifer, enormous power. But his power that he have is based on what was given to him when he was created. The same as Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and many other benevolent angels out there, and any other being, celestial being that exists. There is an existence of celestial being that live in the cosmos. The cosmos is immensely vast, is infinite. The cosmos is immensely vast. It means there are galaxies that operate with beings that respect the existence of God. And the reason why God created us is because He wants us to be the perfect creation. Imagine a human being that have that ego of the flesh and also have the capability of connecting with the true knowledge. I want to know how I can create a machine that can travel in time space in 1 second. You have that answer right away. Imagine you can have that kind of knowledge. That's the way God wants us to live. And that's actually the way we're going to live when the person will hold the light of knowledge return. But it will be done when a third book is written, because there will be a third book that will be written. Remember, when the Old Testament started, it was written. Everything was saying there will be someone coming to save. Now, when that person came in the synagogue, he said, it is finished. Well, blasphemy, who do you think you are? All of this stuff, it was done. Now, the process of the New Testament started. Now, when he returned, there will be a third book that will be written that will guide humans to the new word that will be put in place by God here on earth. So that new book that will come will be a follow-up of the Old Testament, the New Testament. It will not be something that will be completely like new, putting aside all the book. No, it will be pretty much like the New Testament, that is commensurate with the Old Testament. So that book will be commensurate with the New Testament, but with new order, because men will be the way God wanted them to be as in the beginning, with the flesh, be able to be connected directly with the true knowledge, with the true source at any time. But there will be boundary for that, because that new book will be established for people to follow those rules. Now, the point that I'm making here is that I have many folks that do not believe that there is, would not believe in what I'm saying, pretty much. They think it's just an imagination. It is a something that people are making. You cannot determine, you cannot ask a question. You can ask the question as a human being, but you cannot profoundly seize your thought to order aspect of the logic of creation based on your own conceptual methodology of creation. This is what I'm saying. God, the creator of this universe, is not subject to time. He is faster than our time because he lives in a different plane. those celestial beings do not obey to our time, because they live in a different spheral dimensional plane. So you cannot ask the question, really, where did God come from, because you're basing that on time. You're gonna go with the carbon C. Our technology is not so advanced to trace up to 15 billion years. We are not there yet, and we probably will not be into the return, because they are all the entity that have the technology 10 times than our technology that exists. What I'm saying here is that the farther you go from the solar galaxy, the less the time becomes with respect to our time reference. And the farther you go in infinite distance, the more insignificant the time becomes, based on the physical dimensional plane of each place you are. If you go into the moon, I just take an example because people are going to say he's talking stuff, just follow me. If you go into the moon, for example, you are in the moon, that's where you were born. You never went into Earth. You only see Earth and you see the sun. Like we are here on Earth, we can see the moon and we can see the sun. And you can also see the stars. This is the point here. If we consider a year, because that's where the time is based, we consider a year as a full rotation of a planet around his subject, from one point X back to the same point X. From one point X at time 0 to the same point X at time 365 days. That's where the time begins. That's where you actually have your timing. "60 seconds equal to 1 minute, 60 minutes equal to 1 hour, 24 hours equal to 1 day, one movement of rotation of Earth, moving one revolve of Earth around the sun. 365 times like that give you a year. Now you're back in the moon. The moon, his orbital movement around Earth, the full orbital movement once, is equal to about 28 days. So you're born in the moon, 1 year there will be 28 days. With respect to the logic, you're on Earth. So people could have decided that we're gonna put 5-time rotation of the moon around Earth to make it a year. So the point I'm making is to put a support argument for what I stated earlier about the time. You are in the moon, you will be subject to a different time. You see the sun, you go around different seasons in a faster speed. So pretty much in reference, your 1 year in the moon will be 1/13 of a year on earth. If you want to make that comparison of a year correspond to a full orbital movement of a planet or an element of celestial element around the subject. Now when you end up in a space, you are in your vessel, you're in a space. The distance, time there will depend on a physical aspect, on a dimensional aspect, and a plane aspect of that location. So you are in that plane 10 times the rotation, the full rotation of Earth around the sun will correspond to one celestial structural rotation of that plane, of that dimension, of that specific location you are one time. Therefore, 1 year where you will be will correspond to 10 years here on Earth. Well, unless you adapt your life into that dimensional, you'll be aging too. But the point is, you will be aging faster than the time in which you are, because you are in a different physical dimensional plane, apparently. Because you still live in a condition as a human being. Right? You'll be inside your vessel. But our time zone is 1 year that corresponds to 10 year. So when you're going to be looking in the mirror, you're going to be like, I only did 1 year. But I gets old like 9 or 10 years. Because that's exactly where you were designed to be, Earth. So the farther you go, the farther the time will become small. So that now the coefficient of regression, pretty much the slope, that link, because we are part of Earth. So Earth is going to be our reference. It means the time here on Earth will be the reference to time in any other plane. It means you can have the time here on Earth equal to a coefficient of regression times the time of any other plane, dimensional plane you are. Now, if you are in any planet, it can be observed in any other planet and galaxy. It can be observed how it rotates around the stars, and you can derive the number of rotation, full rotation. It might be 180 days. That's going to be the full year. if you live in that planet, in that specific galaxy. Time was imposed. Now, if you are in a space, the space is in movement, but that movement cannot be seen. It's like you're on Earth. You don't know that Earth is rotating around the sun. Nobody knows that. You don't know that. You're just living, and then day, night, that's it. But the day night represent the movement of revolution, the movement of rotation and revolution that lead to revolution around the sun. So when you are in a space, when I say space, I'm not talking about being in a specific galaxy, just in space, in the air, in a space. It is moving, but you don't know that. The same fashion as when you're here on Earth, you don't know that Earth is moving around the sun. The galaxy is functioning. It is expanding. But there are galaxies that existed a long time. You're talking about when God started the concept 15 billion years ago. Galaxy got created. Galaxy over galaxy, galaxy over galaxy. And they didn't got created in one single place. Be moving around. Moving around. That's the reason why I'm saying when you are in a plane, in space, in that dimensional physical plane, it is moving, and that movement determines the time in that specific location. And trust me, because the distance is immensely infinite, the time will be small and small compared to the time on Earth. It means the farther you go, the coefficient of regression will be 1 over n of the time you're on Earth. And the farther you go, n will increase. And if n increase, your time in space will become smaller and smaller. You realize that 1 second corresponds to 1 day you're on Earth. This is a new discovery coming. It is coming. People will go in heaven. When they go there, this is what they said. When I went there in my vision, it seems like I only did 7 seconds. But when I return here on Earth, it's like 7 hours. It's actually 7 hours. To prove that what I'm saying is completely true. You have to believe beyond your thought, beyond your own imagination. There is a knowledge, there is a technology that's bigger than us. There is someone who is bigger than us. Imagine that someone over there, somewhere, is looking at Earth sitting there. The way you plan one day, it is the way he planned 1 billion years. People are going to say, how is that possible? You ask that question because you comparing yourself to an unknown. That's the point that we have as a problem. In order for a person to create what we don't understand, even understanding to today, it means that his knowledge is bigger than what we see. It is completely obvious. If he created you that you don't even understand yourself, it means that his knowledge is beyond you. It's very simple. Because into today we don't even understand the human, we don't fully, completely, absolutely understand the human function. I mean, there are certain aspects of our existence that we don't comprehend scientifically. Sometimes you have to face difficulties, you have to face challenges, you have to face obstacles, you have to face hindrances, you have to face barriers, you have to face mountains to comprehend that when your mind starts twisting and thinking, that you reach a level in which you say, it is over my head, I don't comprehend it. When you reach that level, be truthful with yourself to say, maybe there's somebody above my comprehension. Some are listening to people here who don't believe in such stuff. Imagine you go into a funeral, you're sitting there. If you are an angel, you're reading every single person's mind. It means whatever they're thinking, you know that before they even process it in their brain. You realize that every single person is saying, how did that happen? I just spoke to him yesterday, but he looked good. He didn't have any problem. But how did that happen? And the only thing you're gonna see, certain people gonna say, is only God who knows. But there are certain people who still gonna have that questioning without trying to lead it to somebody beyond our own imagination. When you reach a level in which you cannot comprehend it anymore, you have to know that it is not an impossibility of comprehending it. It's just that that knowledge is not in your level. When he created us, it was with limit. Indeed, God not going to create you to become like him. I mean, understand what I just said. God not going to create you to be like God. You're not going to take his place. You are alike, but you are not like. You have to use those words very well. Being equal to God is different from being in the image of God. Image here is a metaphoric way to say like him, or humbly like him. God created us with limit. It is very simple. There should be a leader, there should be a master of the universe that can control everything to make sure that things are in order. If there was no order, there will be chaos. Now, the point is this, that make our differences with the supreme being or the celestial being who understand the truth, who understand the true knowledge, who understand the principle of the universe that govern the universe, already established. That God himself respect and follow the law of the universe. Why does he do that? Why do the master of the universe do that? He do that because he wanted to show that he is the God of glorification and sublime power and humility. He will not tell you to do something that he cannot do himself. He followed the same principle that he established. That's an example of a good leader. But what we do here on earth is that we have law that we have established, but we value that law. That will make us different. You have to be very truthful with yourself. That's what makes human in that imperfection. No, when you say now that I wanted to be like God, like Lucifer still have that plan in his mind. And it's even true what I just said. You cannot compare Lucifer and God because Lucifer is still trying to be like God. So he already gave you an answer. I'm not like him yet. I'm trying to be like him. I try to get this place. So, in the beginning I just said that. So he answered your question. God told him, go ahead. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. He's there listening to what I'm saying right now. He's very pissed. He doesn't know what to do. He's gonna try to go around, try to hurt me through other people. But he's gonna have to face God himself for that. See, I know exactly what he's doing. The point here is this. We have wasted too much time looking around, jungling around, running around, thinking about evil and evil and evil and evil. What has been lost cannot be set back. That is wrong. That is not even true. If you have been in an injustice situation and the universe knows that, you will get back what you have lost in the past time, and the universe will make sure that it happens, because the universe, the Holy Spirit, God, thrones, which include Jesus Christ there, follow the universal law. It will be up to you to comprehend the philosophy of logic that the present of forgiveness cannot change the past, but can only enlarge the future, so that you can fight that emotional problem that you have, because you will be compensated, but the emotional problem is still going to be there. Like that guy, an example, New York, he said he still want to fight even after $40 million. It's comprehensible. Take his position. Understand, he have pain. I understand him. I feel his pain because I been through a little bit of what he been through. Some of the time I understand him very well. I comprehend him. I don't even just only understand him, I comprehend him. When I say comprehend, is an understanding from my soul. That's the difference between comprehending and understanding. So the point is this: the best way to do is to self-resolve it and comprehend that anxiety is okay, well to be. You can have remorse, you can have frustration, but you just have frustration because you don't know the future, you don't know what is next. But if you can only understand or comprehend that being anxious or being mad about situation will not change the circumstance, but can only worsen those circumstances. But the best approach is if you forgive it from within to outside. It will give you an internal peace, an amount of peace that will battle the emotional section of what you have endured. Like that guy was saying, he still want to put the gloves on to fight because they rip off his youth away from him. Indeed, I spent 12 years of deprivation of everything. I did 12 years. All right, but despite or in spite, no, in this term, despite my frustration and in spite of my work that I do, continue to help people and work for the community and have compassion for the world. I still have the difficulty in front of me to deal with that reality that resolved from that conspire situations and circumstances. I am more certain that we, the people of the world, we have of this world, we have the option to choose a path that can lead us to a glorifying end, or we can choose a path that can lead us into destruction. But no one can decide that till a solution is made or an answer is made. We can stick around and procrastinate about what a person want to do. I'm not certain if that will work. But till the result happen, no one can tell. Only God and His throne knows exactly what will happen next. I do believe that there is still a momentum in which we can still connect into the higher power and being afraid of God. People are going to say to me, why are you going to be afraid from God? We say God is a God of love. You're not afraid of God because He's a monster, but you're afraid of Him when you start hurting other people. That's what I'm talking here. When you start having anger and revenge in your heart, that's what I mean. That's what I meant. And I just want people to know that the fear of the creator is not fear because a monster, or no. It's because you have to know that when I wanted to hurt someone, when I start thinking bad about someone, I want that guy to be this and that. No. This is who I am. I can speak to you through anger, through emotion, but let me tell you, it goes out of my mouth like a game of football. You lost, you lost. You move on to the next game. That's pretty much the way it is. I don't keep it in my heart. But there are certain people out there who take it as a personal problem. You want to talk about love? Compare. I want every human being to compare the love with God. They're going to say, why do I have to compare my love to God? Because everyone's going to say that. I am me. No, you're not. You belong to God. You belong to somebody who created you. Yeah, no, my father and my mother was by themselves in the room, and then accidentally I show up. Well, hopefully your father, your mother, with all the respect, created that structure that brought you. If they didn't, somebody did. I believe that you will come in a conclusion that someone else did. Because if you ask them, they're going to tell you, we don't know. See, this is the point here. God loves every single one of us unconditionally. If the love that you're looking for, or the love that you have, is not one way, forget about it. You don't love people to have love back. Trust me, God look at it like he's looking at Lucifer. You're going to say, what? That's true. Because if you love and you want and you love conditionally, and you expect God to accept that, you're the one who needs some mental evaluation, because he will not. He loves you unconditionally. You go out there, you do crazy stuff. You do crazy stuff. You know somebody got killed. You go home and he's all right, party. I don't care. You know somebody got poisoned. That's his business. Deal with it. Some people just live a life. Like, I don't understand. And then suddenly, when you have a hateful love, you start asking question, God, why? Jesus, why? You start calling him without knowing that you have done the same, and directly to other folks. So, female or male, you want to talk about love, the love have to be unconditionally one way. It means you have to love a person and expect nothing in return. That is what is called the true love, because that's how God loves every single one of you out there. You go there, you do something bad, you put toxin on someone's food, he look at you and say, deja vu. I have seen ancestor do the same thing. all over and all over again. That's another one from this generation. That's what they said. And that same person gonna go and pray, please God help me and stuff. And he even gonna forget. He doesn't even gonna think about poisoning a person is a sin. And he gonna think for him praying, I'm praying, he doesn't gonna mention that. But let me tell you, if you don't mention that, this is what you're telling to God. I'm a perfect being. Accept my prayer. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. Your prayer will not reach his throne. You're gonna say, I'm talking bullshit now. No, I'm not talking bullshit. I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, I understand the truth hurt. It does hurt. It hurt too. My heart is beating very harsh. Yes, I do. I feel the pain. But I have to accept the reality that I'm not Jay-Z yet. That's completely true. That's the reality. Truthfully, I might be spiritually wealthy than him. But the reality is, he can purchase a limousine. I can't. That's the reality. And reality becomes the truth in our materialistic world. So, the point is this. That's the truth. That there's a being that exists, that is out there. And the reality is, he is shackling, he's checking the visible thing to reveal the invisible manifester. And many people don't know that. God gonna check people's life. He gonna check people's life to reveal the power behind. Many people don't realize it. That's what it does. People believe that it is human who control the world. Human don't control the world. God does. He is the real power beyond the scene. Everything that happened to you in your life, from the time you came in this earth, from the time you're going to leave, it is because he wanted to be that way. You're going to make decision. But he have the choice. God have a choice to have an angel appear or to transform your heart right away, right there, to avoid it. But he's going to let it happen because you don't follow the first voice from within. So you're going to go through it. So at the end, he's the one who controls. Let him put his hand on the fire and let him burn a lot bit so he find out that he's hurt. So he doesn't go and do it next time. And right away, when he come back, I'm still gonna assist him. That's how it function. Because he didn't listen to the voice. He went to his own way. He gets tough. This is not about rebellion. This is about every one of us. Sin is not about taking a gun and go and shoot people or go out there and scream at people and stuff like that. No, I'm not talking about stuff like that. Even though that they are part of what I'm talking about. But what I mean here is that our thought, sin every single second. That process in our thought is what I'm talking about, because we sin every single second. You have to think bad about a person. You are there, you consider the other person not valuable. that person should not even exist if it was up to you. That's a sin right there. Because you are lacking respect to God creation. It means you're saying to God, I don't care about the time you take to create this person. That's what you're saying to God. And that is the most dangerous sin that you will never imagine. You think that people who take gun and shoot people and do stuff or people who sell drugs are the most sinful people? No. You destroy a human being. That's the most heavy sin you will never imagine. It will take a different transformation to erase it. And I want people to know that. And I mentioned, we all of us have to be appreciative the way God created us. Do not jealous on God's creation, because I've seen it a lot. People with one leg, people with two legs, people on the wheelchair, people with one eyes, people with a can, people. Please, guys. We have a governor who was blind in New York, the state of New York. Be happy the way God created you, because the way He created you is not that you are incapable. If you look closely, you born with one foot, you can do something. You born blind, you can do something. Don't look people who were born with everything on them and think, well, I can do nothing. No. Or I have to jealous them so that they can be like me, or they also have to be like me. You're missing the point and the purpose of your creation. That South African who have both of the leg cut off, he ran the marathon. You're born the way you're born. If you look closely, you use the equation of knowledge I put in you closely. You look closely, you find out your true purpose. And look, Hopkins, the physicist. He was born a normal person, and he became a disabled person, but he used something else that was given to him. That was the purpose. You're gonna say to folks, why do the universe, why do God accept that to happen like this in order for him to do what he was meant to do? Well, let me tell you, suffering, challenges, hindrances, obstacles are portal to derive into your true purpose in this earth. It is a shackle to build awareness to the truth of who you are. It is that trend, that trigger, that inner intuition to define your personality and the characteristic and talent that you have within hiding. So that's what he does. The guy went to situations and he started using the senses and the potential he was giving to help humanity. So what I'm saying here is that you're born the way you're born fine. Take it the way it came, and do not envy those who were born perfect, because all creation are perfect, not because they are visually perfect, but because if they fulfill their life, it is perfect. If they fulfill the eternal purpose, the normal purpose, what was designed for them, it is fulfilled, it is perfect. And I know people are listening to what I'm saying, they know what I mean, and I want them to follow that. Leave generation accomplish their generational purpose. Give it to those generations. Every generation have a purpose to move the world forward and move the purpose of the universe that is already established forward. Every single generation. Give that ability and those potential to that generation to fulfill the universal law and principle and standards that are already established. Because the loss of a generation is a loss of a century. Because every human being have an average, a normal life expectancy of 100 years. So it is important for us to look that way, because we are more distracted with the influence of the social world, with the influence of how our world is, and we wanted to adapt to it, forgetting who we are, and without using the gift that we're given. That's why it is important to have that focus, to find that in Twitter that will reveal your true persona, so that you can be part of this futuristic umbrella to move the world forward. I am speaking to you today not because I am the smartest person, but I just want to let you know I am the way I am, the way I was created. I don't expect people to handle things to me. I expect myself to work harder and receive compensation from the universe. We are part of the universe, so you know what I mean. The symbol in which we derive our ideology and methodology that explain our way of thinking, logical approach to situation, that are what? That this guy that is sitting there do not have this, do not have that. I function based on what I know. Use my brain. I've never been in prison. I cannot erase imprisonment in my life, the end of my life, because I don't know. But up to this point, I've never been. I remember me going into university 14 years ago. As a young futuristic being. Young futuristic and generational being. 14 years ago. At the university. After I graduated from high school 14 years ago, going into university as a young futuristic and generational being, human being. It was to be part of a global movement and change that can be a gleam, but can also be achievable if belief is implemented. It is important. I have certain people who say that, well, let's move, let's not gleam anymore. Let's go from theory to application. This is, I want people to know there is nothing into this earth that goes straight to application. For people who have certain quality of applied knowledge, even when God, because I make always my comparison with supreme tendency, even when God created everything that you saw, he didn't start with the application. He started with the theory, with the concept. What is a concept? It is an abstract idea. It means you put everything in writing. And you even do an experimentation before you can apply the final process of your theory. That's why you're going to say the concept. The concept. A process of putting things together. So he started with that concept. Everything starts with the theory. You write things, you plan before you can implement it. But every theory that needs to be implemented need a drive, the mean to get there. You don't have that mean, it doesn't matter how good your theory is, it will never move forward. Even if you have the best strategy, you need to have the mean. In this earth, what you need to have? Money and good relationship to move your theory forward. That is the reality. So I don't want people to think that Gabriel and Daikon is joking. I am not joking. I move one direction. That direction is called get there or try doing it. It is very simple principle. Get there or die doing it. It's very simple. There is no option when you are in a inclined mountain where if you don't continue, you fail. And if you fail, you don't even know if you're going to be alive. You know those kind of mountains that you climb. You know they said if you reach that the top level of the mountain, there is a light there, there's a glorification there. Your life gonna change. But I tell you, that mountain, that inclination is a kill machine right there. If you don't pay attention, you fail. If you fail, your life is over. Forget about it. So you are in the middle of that mountain and that inclination, and the only option you have is either death or moving forward. That's how my life is right now. It's not a joke. When you reach a certain age and you reach a certain dimension of thinking, you have to go from dreaming to the true realm. You have to go from there. You have to go into the process of implementation of all your conceptualized ideas and dreams. When you reach that moment, the moment in which it is the time where you have to get things done, there is no more time to look backward. There will be a time in which you reach that kind of level in your life and you will comprehend, or either you are already there and you understand what I mean, or you have been there and you understand what I mean. But you have to know that every single one of us have a different path in their life. The reason behind that is because we didn't have the same starting point. In terms of creation, even if we have the same starting point, our molecular makeup are not the same in the spiritual world, and that is a deterministic of who you are. The molecular makeup, it is the design that defines a derivation of your true purpose here on earth, which distinguish you uniquely from other folks. Therefore, you will have a different path. And not just one folks to start realizing it and stop comparing themselves with other folks. I can assure you, yes, I do have a shirt, but I can assure you, that I never ever compare myself to people. I use people effort, people talent to boost my already planned and established goal. Because I do believe in myself. I do believe in the potential I have. I just told you, I'm not Jesse. But maybe 5 years from now, I will be in a rank in which I also will be valuable as he is at this point. Because I'm already valuable in the eyes of God. I know that for sure. It means I'm valuable. But in our materialistic world, that's not the way it is perceived. Because many of us still have that curtain in their eyes that blind them from the truth. They love what they see as idol instead of what they are, just material, thing that you use and it will pass away. You're going to purchase a car today, 2013 or 2014, in 10 years it will be considered as an old car. Trust me. There's nothing to do with being jealous of other people. This is just the reality and truth. I didn't invent anything. I'm just telling you the way it is. Because there are many people out there who don't try to get it. You purchase a clothes today, it costs $1 billion. Tomorrow, you're gonna want to purchase another one that costs $2 billion. Because it will not be no more anymore. The material world is revolving and changing. But the truth will never change or revolve. That is something we have to know. I have people who believe that I didn't went to the concert of Jay-Z and his wife because I don't like them or something. No, I don't. Concert is not part of my dictionary. If I wanted to go to a concert, I must go when I have a seat in the front row and watch my concert and leave normally. If I have to go, because it's not part of my dictionary. But I am a compassionate person who have compassion for those who have the talent. Because I was already there. Spiritually, it was already done. There's no need for me to be there. You know, it's not about, you know, the spiritual level that you have. You understand a certain point cannot be precious. And there are many people in the world that would like to have what you do have, but they don't. The path into heaven will never gonna be purchased by the amount of money that you have on this earth. It will never gonna be purchased by the name that you have in this earth. Matter of fact, when you leave this earth and pass away, you will become history. There was, matter of fact, I don't even know the people who were star in the early 70 or 60. I don't know. So those are stuff that need to be in our mind. There are many people who have the money, and the only thing they have in their mind is that I hope it can be forever. But the other counterpart of that is that I know it will not be. But the other thing that they don't bring is that what make it not to be? If they can answer that question, they will find humility, and they will comprehend that what possession is a limitless, is have limit. Not limitless, but have limit. That is the reason why some of them cannot find happiness. The same as those who don't have the money. Some of them derive that they were not born well. But something that I know is that many of those folks who have money today, they were born like you, poor. There was a time where they didn't have $1 or $1 million. But let me tell you how money is. Money is a trick. Many of those people who never had $1 million, and when they were, who suffer, who didn't have $1, a dime, who have to ask money on the street. This is what happened. When you start having $1 million, that's where, when the Bible called flesh and flesh, people don't comprehend what they mean. They mean the human thirst for more. That's why they call flesh, because it is part of our humanistic makeup, controlled by our intuition and knowledge, and also emotion. Now, when you start having million, you have million, you start adding more stuff in your life, and in conversion, the million become like $50,000 based on the problems and other factors that you add in your life. And in time, the million, it's not matter anymore to you. You start talking about million like you used to talk about $100, $10, $20 bill. Because your problems now are not $20 bill anymore or $10 bill. They are not $1 million bills. That is the transformation. That's how we change. So the people who have that money today, or who do not have the money, do not envy those who do. Because those who do, the majority came from like you, with nothing. But the point here is that opportunity have to be given, and that's the reason why I spoke about giving opportunity to a generation, because every generation have a specific mission based on the gift and characteristic that were given to them. And those who seize the opportunity at the right time, they use it in the benefit. And many people who succeeded, who excelled today in life, they knew how to use those opportunities. Somebody said to me last time, you believe in freedom, but you don't know how to choose. And I said to her, oh, who told you that I want to choose something? You know, this is a thing that we're missing. We're missing everything around, right? We come in this earth screaming and shouting, and we leave this earth screaming and crying. No one never imagined that. You go to a maternity when people are giving birth, it's screaming. When somebody's dying, people are screaming and crying. It is just a phenomenon that people don't get, right? The difference is that after the screaming, people are smiling. But even after death, people are smiling after that. So that's how our life is. To let you know that those two things is telling you that life is not meant to be easy. There's no reason why you're going to come in this earth screaming and crying and leave this earth screaming and crying and think that it was an easy path. It is a reality and the truth that I'm telling you. And the worst thing about it, you come in this earth with nothing. With all the respect I have for all human beings, naked, and you leave this earth the same way. What do that tell us as human beings? How come I can come in this earth with nothing? Brown, nothing. I live my life. I have all these names. I did all these. I say hi to all all those personalities and who were born exactly like I was born, screaming, coming, the same way. And I go all over the place, champagne, wine, $1 million deal, $1 billion deal with people who born the same way as I do. And went through the same process. The ancestor left the same way. My ancestor left the same way. They didn't take money with them or nothing with them. I can say nothing with them mean the anything that might be nothing. So at the end, I am living with nothing. How can I summarize my life that way. I came, opened my eyes, start looking at new people, and you start living a life, difficulty, good. You have everything you're supposed to have, and when your time comes, instead of opening the eyes, you're closing your eyes. And actually, that's the first thing that goes when you die. Actually, your vision. So it is a phenomenon that must be followed, and then your hearing follow after that. And when you come on earth, the first thing is your hearing is good, and your eyes start becoming clear and clear. But when you're living, it's reverse. You know, the way we plan a life for a day, that's the way God planned 1 billion years. Just to tell you how immense His knowledge is, that He probably look all of us like we look one person. Because if somebody have to plan 1 billion years the way I plan one day, my friend, I'll tell you right now, maybe that person is looking the entire earth the way I look one person. Because how is that possible? It's because you keep comparing yourself to him again. It is possible because he's a different being above you. I mean, they are different creation that is superior to us. It's just simple as that. It's not because I can drive in a limousine, or I can have fancy car, or I can be with a beautiful woman around me, that, or I can have everything I need in my life, that I believe that maybe I am also God. If they can only take you and bring you into the universe and to other cosmic dimension, you realize that you never had anything. That what you actually had was not even close to be good. It was just for you to have fun in your journey on earth. It is just simple. But the only thing you can take with you, the only thing that can make you happy from within, is your compassionate thinking and the devotion to give a lasting purpose to humanity, helping people to resolve their problem and helping people to move forward with their life. Opening door to people, opening opportunity to people, having an unconditional love to all human beings. We have people who believe that the problems that we have in this earth is because of an inability of God to solve, and people have to go in a different route because God is not answering, or because the person, the supreme being, the power of all powers, that's how he's called. There are many beings out there that power is given, but the power are limitless. The power are limited compared to the true power. But they acknowledge the true source and call it the power of all powers, the higher intelligence that derive from the equation I have. The intuitor of God is equal to plus infinity. It means it cannot even be calculated. Because he is the source of every single thing. So his intuitor will be equal to plus infinity. Because I put in there that K, which is the knowledge intuitor, must belong to the dimension of real, excluding zero. Because I believe everybody in this earth have a potential of thinking. So it should not be zero. Even the people that they say they have some disability issue, they have a intuition level. Every single person. So it should not, zero should not be there. Because every single one know how to do something. You'll be amazed. It is crucial that people walk alone the possibility that is given. There is a power above all power. As I mentioned before, people believe that it was based on my own imagination. It's not based on my own imagination. I say before to you that God sees me a day as 1,000 years. And I prove it to you that the farther you go from earth, the smaller the time is. The time becomes. So if you have to travel 187 billion of trillion miles away from earth, your time there will be very small, because you've been a different physical dimensional plane that have a different structural characteristic of orbiting, or even not orbiting, moving. So when you realize that God sees a day like 1,000 years, because of that equation, that mathematical logic I just mentioned, and I can assure you that the return will happen. Jesus Christ didn't say He's gonna rebuild. He can rebuild that area of Jerusalem in 3 days by mistake. He said, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And I do believe that it will happen in the third millennium. And I'm very convinced of it. It will happen in the third millennium. That's how concise my estimation can be. And I can assure you, people will be remembering what I'm just saying today. I will not be in this earth. Maybe I will return in a different soul, without knowing who I was, into my spiritual journey, like many of us. So it is important to realize where we are, who we are, and our destination. The motion of enhancing our lasting purpose by serving, discovering our inner potential, our talent to start serving humanity is what we're going to take with us when we leave this earth with happiness and eternal peace. The money, the power will stay. The only thing you will take with you, it is your conscience of what you have done good and bad in your earth. And you're going to take it with you. Trust me, it will not be raised. People compare human being to computer. No, we are not computer. When the computer crashed, the memory is gone. No, that's not the same thing. You are far to be a computer. Remember, like I said to you before, if God created us, it's because His knowledge is powerful than what we can see here. The same thing as us human beings who created computer. We created computer because God knew that we're going to create computer, and He knew our knowledge will be powerful than knowledge computer. Computer are programs, so they do exactly the way they were programmed, and they were programmed by whom? By human being. We are made not only through our physiological and anatomical manifesta, but we also have an energy that is inside of us that connects us to the internal energy, more powerful than the computer. So that subconscious that is within have access to our conscious, which is our mind, intellectual. So everything that you record, everything that you have done is recorded into that subconscious, into the last moment, the last person that you see when you die, into the last thing you see. So when it's recorded, when you die, it will leave and it will go with everything that is recorded. So you will be able to reason and think exactly every single thing that you have done in your life. If you have hurt people, you have done, put poison or whatever you have done, you have access to the truth. and you will be full of remorse and sorries. Let me tell you, if they put you there in the transition mode, you're gonna hear a lot of things, a lot of word like this: sorry, I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know. That's what you're gonna hear. How can I do to correct this? How can I do to correct this? That's what people said when they reach that dimension. And this is the answer they receive. Listen to me very carefully. There is nothing you can do here anymore. You have your chances when you were alive in your physical form. Now the decision is made, and that's it. The end of story. They don't speak there too much, and you follow already established principle and rule and standards. That's it. There is nothing like, please, can I go again and try to correct it? Forget about it. It will not happen. That's the reason why God is silent behind the scene and waiting for us to remake our life, because He gives us the time to do that. He's there, silent, rushing. He's observing. You think that when you were born, you become a star? You think He didn't know that? He knows all that. That's the reason why when you were in your worst time and growing up and screaming, He's looking at you and laugh and say, stand still. I can see you. I can see your future. Just not worry about that. Unfortunately, He can also see your end. It means the exact moment and how you're gonna die. That is I can call it the misery of the entire process. And if God can see, can plan 1 billion years the way the way we plan one day, it means that God don't only worry about you, but He also worry about your generation that will come after. I mean, He worry about the generation in your infinite mind that will come in your infinite count. Because 1 billion years, you don't know how many generations. You can count how many generations, but that's too much. So it's not only worry. So it means that what happened in your life is related to the future. It is very simple. God don't only sees you. And to confirm what I just said, go back into the Bible. When God promised all those people, you're gonna have you'll be a father of nations. It confirmed exactly what I just said, because He sees it. He explored the future. you're gonna say, how do he does that with perfection? It's because we are part of the universe, and everything that is shackled from the invisible, everything that is shackled from the visible is a manifestation from the invisible world. So that's how they know what will happen next. Because they can decide that that will not happen. But it will happen because it will lead into the plane that is already established. So your difficulty in your life is exactly where you're supposed to be. Your challenges in your life is exactly what's supposed to happen. Somebody gonna say to me, well, so you want to say that I take a gun and I go and shoot people is exactly what God wanted to happen? Not exactly. Because if you're honest with yourself, there was a voice that said to you, don't do it. Because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying here. This is a logical and critical thinking theories and system. There is an option that is given in your choice. That's the reason why they can see you refusing to do it and do what you choose to do and see the outcome of it. Just to answer that uncertainty, it is very important to make sure that we understand creation. We understand the way God designed and structure, engineer this universe. Because understanding it will save many lives and will bring peace into earth. The potential that a man can have, the gift that we have within, the talent that we have within, many of us lose it. We should value every single person. We should look for those who have what we're looking for with no hypocrisy or jealousy, because that will be beneficial to ourselves. If you know a person who have that spiritual gift that can heal, go to him, talk to him, because that's the gift that was given. You will not find too many people like that in the world. And trust me, that's true. There will never gonna be a second. Let me give an example because he was in town. There will never gonna be a second Jay-Z or a Beyonce or something, couple or something, ever. It's not because they're too much important, but it's just that everyone was created specifically and uniquely. There will be similarity, that's it. Everybody come and does his part exactly the way it was designed. Everybody come and do his stuff that identify him accordingly. If somebody else come and try to do it, you see that it's not the same. Because when you do something, that when people are in the audience and see that coming, like it's coming from your soul, and it enter the soul right away, that is your gift. That's the reason why X will always be X, Z will always be Z. There will never going to be a double Z. Look, the alphabet is A. The alphabet don't have A prime. B, there's no B prime. It's either A, B, or C, or D, or E, or F. That's it. I mean, when I say that's it, I'm talking about in terms of singularity and uniqueness. Indeed, the alphabet have 26 letters that correspond to 9 numbers. It is the reason why we have to comprehend creation. We have to comprehend that each one of us have a service due to the humanity. They're doing their part. They made a lot of people happy when they came in town like this, and they have to continue. There are certain people going to be happy today because they have seen, this woman come in there, But I want people to know that despite your love for those people, that you consider as idol, you have to know that you don't compare them to God. They are simple folks, simple people who knew how to use their talent, who comprehended creation the way God created them, and they use it well in their advantage, regardless on how they get there. So you should not look them like God. They are simple people who have problems like any other human. They struggle like any other human. People have different kind of struggle. There are people in the world who have struggle of having a penny. There are people in the world who have a struggle of just try to have a place where they can sleep. There are people who have struggle just they want to have clean water to drink. There are people in the world where they're just looking for somebody to come and change the roof because wires keep dropping in there. There are people in the world that they just want people to come and help them to avoid water to keep coming in their house. Because the earth water is coming, they don't have the money to fix it. There are people in the world who just need someone to purchase them clothes so that they can wear it. There are people in the world that they just have a disease that they just need a person to give them just $1 to cure it. There are people in the world that they just need to have one meal a day so that they can sleep happy. The worry of them and going and see stars is not even in the schedule, if you come with that. Now, there are people in the world who have enough money, but they don't have a peace of mind. Yeah, people in the world will have every single thing, will have a place to sleep, all this stuff, but they don't have inner happiness. Yeah, people in the world will have all that, but they don't have that spiritual purity. And they envy you would not have none, because they said, I hope I should have been like that. Because remember, in life, things don't stay constant. Time might be, but problem accumulate in time. The more you grow, the more problem that show in your life. Because I have people there who think, yeah, I will become like Bill Gates and I'm still gonna be the same thing, eating beans and rice and having the same kind of problems. No, you will not. You will have problems that correspond exactly to who you are at that present time. And it will not be easy. Sometimes you're gonna go, I want to get out. Sometimes you're gonna be like, I hope I was still the way I was, but with a lot of money. No, you will not. Life is not perfect like that. There is not perfect life. Yeah, many people who go, I'm gonna have this, and then I'm gonna find a perfect man, I'm gonna find a perfect woman, or all this and stuff, and then when you get there, like, this is something else. Money is in control of everything, and you start realizing that was not really the way God designed you. God wants you to have this, but you want to have that because of what's in your bank account. That's what's very important. There's no perfection. Sometimes you reach that high level and you just want to go back the way it was, because you start finding the real truth that the peace of mind is what will keep you up. That when you put your head in your mattress and your pillow, that you sleep in peace, you can purchase that. You can buy that. You have to look the mirror, like every single person, and look the mirror and say, I'm just a human being. And then you look at the end, you by yourself in your room, after you met millions of people who adore you, and you go back at the end and everything is quiet. You by yourself. So that is the reason I say again, it is good to admire people. It is also very important to know the truth of beyond human creation. Understanding that there is a power above our own understanding. Believing in the Word of God, believing in the gospel of the chosen Son, Jesus Christ, and believing in the work of the Holy Spirit, the divine intelligence, the cosmic intelligence, the infinite intelligence. That is the path to glorification. And like I said before, salvation happened in three stages. There is no other stage beside that. Well, wherever you go, it will be. It will come to that. The first stage is salvation. You have to let God work to you, through you, from the inside out. Transform your life. It means if you have to go and give the $1 million that you have to live the life that God wants you to live, you do that. There is no two change. There is no two choice. If you have none and God wants you to continue to do what you're doing, that's what you got to do. You done none. And then now when you finish that salvation process, that sanctification process, through the exemplary work done by Jesus Christ on earth, you're going to go to the process of redemption. It means through the credit that Jesus Christ have worked, and his blood is still dropping up lot in a shelter over there in heavens. Your account will be credited, and when your account is credited, you will become righteous and then justify. So from the process of redemption, you're going to go to the process of justification. Identify righteous in the eyes of God. Therefore, when you identify righteous, you have finished the process of salvation, and then now you will be glorified and seen as and lifted into the high mountain, therefore connected into the light of knowledge and to the true source. That have nothing to do with your money and your name, or either you poor or rich. Have nothing to do with that, or you whatever position you hold into this earth. God is beyond that. Like I told you again, what you program, you plan for one day is the way God planned for 1 billion years. I'm pretty sure that you know the difference between 1 day and 1 billion years. Well, you can have a conversion of 1 billion years in days. You find out, as 1 day will be your coefficient of and you add the other part of the multiplication process, you find out. And I'm pretty sure it will give you thousands of billions. It will actually give you about 365 billions days. That's what we're going to give you. That's what we're going to give you, because 1 year equal to 365 days, and then you multiply that by 1 billion, and that's it. And you just put that 365 over there on one, and then it will give you a long number. For justification, you do that multiplication process here, right here, right here. Justify that. I'm a man of justification here, because I want people to know that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, my friend, just give me a minute here. I was right. It gave you 365 billion days. Alright? So if God can view 365 billion days as we see one day, we have to be very careful on how we consider our life here. And let me remind you, God shake our life to reveal the unseen power and His glory. The difficulties that we're going through are the manifestation of a message from within that sometimes we ignore, that is very serious and important in His eyes. Everything that we do, God watch and is observed. The problem that we're facing is for us to realize that there is a power within and behind that controls everything, and that is above everything. God touched the visible. He shake the visible to reveal the power of the invisible. I want people to remember that, because it is the same. It goes into the same context with everything that happened in this world is for a reason, and is controlled not by man but by the person who made it all, by the higher intelligence. The knowledge you possess is because of Him. The power you possess is because of Him. The money you possess is because of Him. The position you possess is because of Him. Do not look the other person down, because you was not made. You have a different molecular makeup, not at the same time, and every single person have his moment and time. The universe knows what it is doing, because it does have a destination. It does have a meaning. It does have a purpose. And everything in between is to lead into that. And we are all confused because we are uncertain about the future. We don't know the future, and that's what makes us speculate, procrastinate about many things that we observed coming from the unshakable unseen power that is revealed in as a manifester in our normal life. I am here to do my purpose. This is the start. I'm speaking the truth with no anger in my heart, with pure and compassion and love for people. This is not about coming back after people, but it's about building awareness and awareness to make people's life more plausible. We live in a society in which people have departed away from the truth, have departed away from the true knowledge, have departed away from the true source, from the higher intelligence. Now it is a time for us to start looking beyond our own imagination. because the challenge we're going to be facing tomorrow will be doubling. Lucifer is not sleeping. Lucifer is thinking how he will destroy every single one of you. He will come hard. He will bring difficulties and challenges. Life will not be easy as we think. Things will get worse and worse because things are playing based on the destination, the final destination. Lucifer knows it, and the heavens knows it. The only people who do not know the truth, it is us. And unfortunately, we are in between. And we are part of that battle. It is called the 666 against the 777. I reverse it. The 777 against the 666. The true Trinity against the anti-Trinity. And I hope that you have a blessed and weekend, a peaceful workup. You watch, you see the talent that people possess, that God have given to folks that are the glorification of God. And we're going to have a peaceful workup, and we're going to enjoy it, and everything will go well. I would like to pray for peace around the world and for a better environment, making sure that our environment is protected, making sure that the health of people are well maintained, and better policy are implemented to improve the quality of service of healthcare, and also a decrease in the mortality rate of many preventable disease that can be assessed in an early stage and save millions of lives around the world, exclusively in poor and deprived and undermined and underprivileged region. It is time for people to open doors to those that have the ability and capacity to do so, despite the differences. It is a moment and the age of growth, and a moment and age of opportunity for the new challenges to come. The world is moving in a new direction. The world is moving in a direction in which it will need people with specific intuition and enormous talent to make sure that we all move along according to the momentum of the battle in which we are part of. Let's work together. Let's do what is necessary to assist those who have the ability, to open doors to those who have the ability, despite our differences, despite the misunderstanding. It's not about us. It's not about our own ego. It is about the common purpose of the well-being of all humankind that would lead into the glorification of the person who made it all. Thank you for listening. And I praise a surf journey to the star who came today in a city in which I live to return into the normal private life after the journey of entertaining the people and blessing into them. I'm not doing this because I don't want people to think I'm doing this because, or maybe they might send me a check. I don't need the money. I am working for God. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Like I say again, I believe in myself, and I believe that one day, this is not a dream, I will live a life in which I was meant to be. A life in which it was designed to be. With no contempt, I will be poised to embrace every person with a good heart and loving attitude for a progressive, futuristic world and society. Thank you very much, and have Wiedersehen, muchacho, for peace, shalom, and salam for everyone around the world. And happy, glorifying Ramadan for those who believe in the only and only and only high supreme being who control all powers around this universe. Be peaceful, and you can go on my charity. The site is www.ngohmadefoundit.org, or you can reach me at Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, iReport, Instagram, Gmail, and you have any other social media out there that you can get me into. It's more easy, email or by text. You get me for business purposes. All right, so let's work together and do better. But remember that there is a knowledge above your knowledge that can help you if you allow it to do so. May God bless every single one of us and the universe moving on in peace.